Hey everybody, Steve Gamache here with another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review. And what we have this time is the Yoshimi Kato SG2 Santoku 165mm knife. So this is a very striking looking knife, as you can see, with a beautiful handle on it. This is composed of a hardcore center steel of SG2 full stainless, which is a good powdered metallurgy fine grained steel that's reasonably easy to sharpen with good sharpening stones and holds a really nice edge. It's about 62, 61, 62 Rockwell, and usually around 62. Construction is multiple layers of soft stainless and maybe nickel possibly cladding on either side of that core steel. And that cladding, as you can see, has been acid etched to make those layers and the different metals pop really big. And you can definitely see here's the blade flats with the pattern on there, and then there's the grind where it comes down. So really striking layers being displayed there. It's just beautifully done. It's a really neat finish. So striking finish on this. Before we get too far with that, let's take a look at the specs. These can vary a little bit from knife to knife, but this particular one is 125 grams or 4.4 ounces, so it's pretty light. Edge length about 170, 171, 6.7 millimeters, and the overall length is about 12.2 inches. The spine thickness is pretty much, I just got 1.9 millimeters, and you might get one with slightly different, but just all the way across. And then the grind is fairly generous. You can easily see where that starts, where the layers start appearing there. And then it gets pretty thin at the very tip, actually quite thin. So you get kind of a little distal taper in the last couple inches of this as it comes down there. And then these are ground thin at the edge as well. These are really good performing blades. They're ground nice and thin. You can see that. It's just a really well crafted, very clean grinds, very straight blade. Blade height is about 46 millimeters at the back. And then the handle, this particular one is just an example of some beautiful wood. It's very striking, but it's octagonal rosewood with a red packawood ferrule. And again, you can see this one has just a striking sample of wood with some awesome grain in it. You don't always get one this cool looking, but this is really pretty. So you've got a good, clean, tight glue up there where the tang goes into the handle. And this has a bit of a shiny finish to it. So it's really just well executed handle, nice smooth fit and finish on it. Pretty handle. Circumference, I got about 70, 71. So it's not a super thick handle, but it works with the blade. Right about here. And that handle, it's not super light like hoe wood, and the blade's thin and light, so that brings the balance point back a little bit, but there's your balance point, which is just about where that choil or the back of the blade is. Let's get our beauty shot. And almost any angle, this knife is really cool. Again, overall fit and finish is excellent. I would give the edge 6, maybe 7 out of 10. It's very sharp out of the box. Looks like a really well-crafted edge bevel with some polish to the grit level that they used. It does have on the right side of the blade, it's a little hard to pick up, but they've got laser engraved, what looks to be laser engraved kanji. Right there. And they've got a polished spine. Get there we go. So they've polished that spine, and it kind of contrasts with the etched look, gunmetal gray look of those layers there, and they've rounded the edges just slightly. They've done a nice job on polishing the choil. It's shiny there as well, and it's really smooth. So there's beautiful fit and finish on these. Let's see what else. I think that's about it. Let's look at the cutting board profile on here. One thing that can happen, just to make you aware, is these full acid etch styles can sometimes, when they work on wet product, can be a little grabby, and over time that can lessen as they kind of just wear in a little bit and smooth out. So just be aware of that. So here's what the edge profile looks like. They've got a decent flat towards the back half here, kind of rocks into the back. And so you got a little bit of flat there in the back third for chopping, kind of a Decent amount of belly towards the tip, so I can get pretty high on this. So this will rock nicely. You got a little bit of chopping towards the back. It's just a pretty good all-around profile. So it's an extremely well-crafted blade. So really cool looking package, high performance, great handle on this particular sample. And so this is the Yoshimi Kato SG2 Santoku 165mm knife.